Friends, welcome to week 12. I have some pretty cool news for you guys. So I had a few friends in week 10 tell me that their favorite artist was Mike Venezia. Mike Venezia is the author of these books that we've been reading. He is also the illustrator. An illustrator is a person who creates the pictures for books, and we're going to learn about that in a couple of weeks. So I had the opportunity to email him and let him know that you guys thought he was a pretty cool artist. And he responded back that he loves art teachers, he loves students, and he was so glad to hear from our school. So he wanted to say hi to all the Brandywine School District students that I teach. We will be receiving 2 books from him and a signed poster from him. So I'm super excited about that. And he was super excited to hear about your awesome artwork. So keep learning and keep listening. This week we're going to talk about post-impressionist artists and neo-impressionist artists. That's basically the art movement after the impressionist movement.
Post-impressionism was essentially a few people that you've probably never heard of, like Cezanne and Van Gogh, you know, just people that are no names in the art community. They decided they didn't like the direction that the Impressionists of that era were taking. So from about 1890 to about 1910, mostly French painters are credited with this. They sort of formed their own splinter groups. They decided that they wanted to do what eventually was called neo-impressionism. Some of them went into pointillism and something called scientific impressionism. And the reason that they did this is because they weren't satisfied with the triviality of the subject matter and the loss in structure in traditional Impressionist paintings. So a few of the things that post-impressionists developed, one of the techniques is pointillism, which is essentially the technique of using tiny dots and hundreds of them together, not dissimilar to the way that you would see something printed. If you look real close at something printed in a newspaper or an older comic book, you'll see a bunch of tiny little dots that are close together, and when viewed from a little bit of a distance, they make a total image. And this is the way they actually painted. So this is predating any machines that we had. They would go in just with their paintbrush and just dip tiny little dots all over the painting in varying colors. They would also keep the color, the vibrant colors of the Impressionist era, but they would just, in this way, be adding more structure to what was going on during the Impressionist time. And again, Post-Impressionism really only describes the era following Impressionism. It's not one specific technique. It's this entire group of painters who mutually, exclusively decided that they had some beefs with Impressionism, and they all sort of went in their own direction.
All right, friends, so help me give a warm thank you to our host today, Gene, who is a graphic artist, and he wanted to explain to us what post-impressionism was. So remember, post-impressionism is a lot of different techniques that they used after impressionism. They wanted to show the texture of the picture. Texture is the way something feels or looks to feel. So they put little tiny dots. They did dashes. They did swooping lines. They wanted you to feel the movement in the picture. They wanted the painting or the paint itself to mix together in a whole new way. So we're going to learn more about the artist Georges Seurat. You can either read about him by clicking the next arrow here and selecting one of the books on the art shelf or the bookshelf, or you can click on the silhouettes. And if you click on the silhouettes, you can select one of your favorite artworks. They're going to be from Georges Seurat, but I want you to pick the one that feels most comfortable to you, and then tell me why you like that one the best. They're all done in dots, though some of them, because they're so large, when I made them smaller, they don't look like there's dots. Fun fact. See you later. Don't forget to hit next.